Did you know that Christmas was once illegal? Yes, illegal. In 17th century Boston, celebrating Christmas could get you fined. The Puritans who ran the town called it a pagan festival. They thought it was a scandalous, drunken mess. And to be honest, they had a point. The Christmas we know today, a cozy, family-friendly holiday, is a surprisingly modern invention. Its roots dig deep into a much older, wilder, and stranger world. Roman gods, Germanic spirits, chaotic winter feasts. This isn't the story you learned in Sunday school. This is the story of where our most beloved traditions really came from, and it is far more fascinating. Prepare to have your view of the festive season turned upside down. We will strip away the layers of tinsel and wrapping paper to find the raw, pagan heart of the holiday. We will explore the raucous Roman festival of Saturnalia, where masters served their slaves. We will venture into the dark forests of ancient Germany to understand the meaning of the Yule log, the evergreen tree. This exploration is not meant to spoil your Christmas cheer. Instead, it adds a rich, complex, and sometimes shocking history to the carols you sing and the decorations you hang. It shows how humans have always sought light in the darkest time of the year. The story of Christmas is a story of adaptation, of old ways blending with new beliefs. We will see how early Christians cleverly placed the birth of Jesus on December 25th. This was a strategic move. It allowed them to co-opt the powerful energy of the winter solstice festivals that already dominated the Roman world. We will also examine the symbols we take for granted. Why do we kiss under the mistletoe? Long before the first Christmas carol was ever sung, the Romans had their own massive winter party. It was called Saturnalia, held in honor of Saturn, the god of agriculture and time. It began on December 17th and could last a full week. It was the best time of the year in Rome. All business closed, government closed, schools closed. The strict rules of Roman society were thrown out. Pure, unadulterated fun and chaos. People feasted, people drank, people gambled in public. The holiday everyone looked forward to all year. The most famous part was role reversal. For 1 week, the world turned upside down. Slaves were given temporary freedom. Slaves wore their masters' clothes. Slaves spoke their minds without fear. While the Romans were feasting for Saturn, the Germanic and Norse peoples of Northern Europe had their own winter festival. It was called Yule. This was a darker, more spiritual affair. It took place during the winter solstice. The days were short, the nights were long, and the cold was a constant threat. People believed that powerful spirits, good spirits, and evil spirits stalked the night. The sun had weakened, and the world of the dead felt dangerously close. Yule was a set of rituals to fight the darkness and persuade the sun to return. A central tradition was the Yule log. A family would find a huge log, or even an entire tree, hauled into the home. They would decorate it with runes and with evergreens. Then they set one end on fire in the hearth. The log burned for the whole festival, up to 12 days. Its light and heat defended against the cold and dark spirits. The ashes were powerful. They were scattered on fields to ensure a good harvest. This ritual is the ancestor of modern Yule log cakes. When you decorate your Christmas tree, you are taking part in a very old tradition. The practice of bringing an evergreen tree inside and decorating it has strong roots in pagan German Yule customs, Scandinavian Yule customs. As we saw, evergreens were powerful symbols of life in the middle of winter. For ancient peoples, the tree was a sacred object. It connected the underworld with its roots, the earth with its trunk, and the heavens with its branches. Decorating it was an act of honoring the life force of nature. It was a way to invite the spirit of life and light into the home during the darkest days of the year. Holly, with its shiny green leaves and bright red berries, was another important pagan symbol. It was considered a sacred plant by the Druids, the priestly class of the ancient Celts. They believed holly had protective powers. Its pointy leaves were thought to ward off evil spirits. Romans also used holly during Saturnalia, exchanging holly wreaths as signs of goodwill. For these ancient cultures, the plant's ability to bear fruit in the winter was a miracle. It represented resilience and the promise of rebirth. When Christianity spread, the plant was given a new meaning. The sharp leaves came to represent the crown of thorns, and the red berries, the blood of Christ. Our modern Christmas is filled with gentle, cheerful figures, Santa Claus and his elves. But the winter folklore of old Europe was much darker. In the Alpine regions of Austria and Germany, St. Nicholas did not travel alone. He had a terrifying companion named Krampus. While St. Nicholas rewarded the good children with gifts, Krampus was there to punish the bad ones. He was a horrifying creature, a hairy-horned demon with a long, pointed tongue and cloven hooves. He carried a bundle of birch branches to swat naughty children, a basket of sacks sometimes to be drowned, eaten, or dragged to hell. The tradition of the Krampuslauf, or Krampus Run, is still alive today. Young men dress up in frightening Krampus costumes, wooden masks, rattling chains. They run through the streets on the eve of St. Nicholas's Day, playfully scaring children and adults. This tradition is a holdover from a pre-Christian time when people believed that demonic spirits were especially active during the winter. The frightening masks and noise were originally intended to scare away these evil winter spirits. Krampus reminds us that the holiday season was not always about comfort and joy. It was also about acknowledging and confronting the darkness and fear of the long winter night. The idea of a war on Christmas might seem like a modern media invention, but it actually happened. In the 17th century, the Puritans in England and America waged a very real war on the holiday. They were devout Protestants who wanted to purify the Church of England of anything that resembled Catholicism. They read the Bible closely and found no mention of December 25th as Jesus' birthday. They concluded that the holiday was an invention of man, not a command from God. Worse, they saw that its traditions were deeply entangled with the pagan festivals of Saturnalia Yule. For the Puritans, Christmas was not a holy day. It was a festival of sin. They were appalled by the feasting, drinking, gambling, and general misrule that took place. They saw it as a popish or Catholic foolishness, but they also correctly identified its pagan roots. The leader of the English Parliament, Oliver Cromwell, officially banned Christmas celebrations in the 1640s. Soldiers were sent to patrol the streets of London, seizing any festive food they found. Town criers walked through the cities, reminding citizens that Christmas was forbidden and that shops were to remain open. This was not a popular move, and it led to pro-Christmas riots. In 1659, the General Court of the Massachusetts Bay Colony passed a law making any observance of Christmas a criminal offense. A note from the Boston Public Library archives confirms this history. By the early 1800s, Christmas was in trouble. In America, the old Puritan suspicion of the holiday still lingered. In England, the Industrial Revolution was changing society. Many old agricultural festivals were fading away as people moved to cities. Christmas had become a rowdy, outdoor festival, increasingly seen as old-fashioned and disruptive. It was in danger of disappearing altogether. The holiday needed a makeover. It needed to be reinvented for the modern age. The people who came to its rescue were not priests or politicians. They were writers. Two authors stand out: Washington Irving, Charles Dickens. In 1820, Irving published The Sketchbook of Geoffrey Crayon Gent, stories that painted a nostalgic, romantic Old English Christmas. He described a warm, peaceful, generous holiday where families gathered. He wrote of roaring fires, festive decorations, and joyful feasting. So, Merry Christmas, everyone, and don't forget to check in and subscribe. Until the next sketch.